Version 1.11 of homecrate is now out, and it includes a ton of features that I'm going to read off of the screen over here. There are 3 new plugins. There's a vocal plugin for pitch correction and de-essing and doubling and all that other fun stuff. There's now a dynamic EQ, which can be sidechained to any of your other tracks. And then there's also now another plugin that is the sender. And that sender can send the signal to the EQ, and the EQ can pick if you want to add or subtract from the different pieces of the EQ. And also there's a compressor in there that you can do some side chaining with as well. The amp now has dual NAM, where you can have your playing dynamics decide which profile to use by a mix knob, and you can get really creative with that. There is now audio to MIDI. Audio to MIDI is cool because you can just play a melody really fast and convert it to MIDI. And there might be artifacts in there, but you can just delete those and you at least get perfect timing and placement of those notes. There is now, the biggest thing is stem separation. So you can give it any stereo track and it can separate it out into drums, bass, guitar, and vocals. And there's also like a deeper mode where you can have like the others that are like synths and stuff like that. And this all runs on your device. No subscriptions, like no BS like that. You can run this all on a cell phone. So why not? Let's do it. So that feature I'll go into in just a moment. And also we've got some drum changes, so you can copy and paste in clips that you've recorded to your timeline into the drum. And there's a bunch of other stuff, but I'll go into it as we go through. And yeah, let's do it. So I've got a brand new track here, and we're gonna explore the dual NAM playing dynamics stuff. So right now I've got my twin reverb set up as what we've got. Let me just turn this off. So this is the twin reverb just by itself. So that's just the twin. But maybe you want something a little bit quieter on one side and something a little bit heavier when you dig in. You can set your playing dynamics to control that by using the morph button, and the morph button can have an A and B assigned, and you can tell it to, it can also do the IR cap, so you can have independent IR, or one IR and morph between them with the with your 2 different profiles. And you can set what does it. So if it's bass or input, as being your playing dynamic, you can pick one of the 2, so that if it's up here, it's going to be B, up down there, it's going to be A. And A we can set to a different amp. So right now it's the red face twin for A, and we've got the Neve for the other end. And what is that, B? We probably want to reverse that. I think we want to inverse that. And they're vastly different. So like you would want to do something where they are a little bit closer in volume, I guess. And they could be like phasing each other out. That's another thing I haven't considered. But regardless of that, I find that the input mode is my favorite, just because you can play quieter and you can use your volume knob to just kind of pick what amp you're using. So I'm on B, and then if I turn it up a lot, and if my volume's down, I can really see how it's like staying on B, but I can go really hard and it'll stay on the twin. Yeah, anyway, it's easy to get lost in that, especially when you're like finding yourself trying to play in certain ways to hit certain amps. And this is probably the worst combination to do, is like a Neve preamp and a twin reverb. But you get the idea of like the extreme of the two sides of what it's doing here. And yeah, so that's super cool. I think that's going to be super handy. And there's also the A and B side of the IR, so the impulse response can have an A and B, and you could pan between two cabinets, as well as the two amps. So you could even like make a cross and do all kinds of really cool combinations. Yeah, I found myself wanting this, so I just did it. You can control the threshold and the depth. So if you really want to go like 100% on one and the other, you just set depth one. But I find that it's like even at one, it's not so great. I like it to be at like even 0.88, 0.9, anything like that. Just way better than 100% because you get a little bit still. Yeah, that's a new thing. Let's do audio to MIDI now. This is going to be converting guitar to MIDI from a recorded clip, not in real time. I do want to do that, but we'll save that for another day. So right now I've got my amp just set for the twin reverb, and I've got my Pacifica here. I've got it as loud as I can get it. I've got it in the middle position with the humbucker, and then I've got the pool on that gives it a little bit more oomph. And what we're going to do is record a clip and then convert that clip to MIDI and send that to a synthesizer. So I've got the synthesizer here. I'm actually going to delete it so I can show you how to add the synth. So we got the amp. We have no MIDI on this track. This is brand new. Let's record a quick clip. And I added some chords in there just so like you can see what a chord does and what single notes, and we can kind of get an idea of it from there. So yeah, I've got this clip now. We're gonna want to convert it to MIDI. So we'll long press on the clip, and there's a to MIDI button that you can click, and that will convert it to MIDI right in place. And it's a rough idea. You'll see some artifacts that you might have to clean up, and to do that, you just long press on it, and you can get in there and figure out what was incorrect and delete it. Like I can already tell you this one, but down at the bottom there is probably not right, and I could just tap on it, and wait, I can right here. Yeah, tap on it. And that gets rid of it, and then we can just save that by closing it, and we're all set. So, all right, let's see how we did. We need a synthesizer now, so let's go ahead and I'll turn off monitoring. We'll add a synthesizer, and we'll pick a good patch because I just want to hear something decent. We'll pick Lo-Fi Tape Pad, and in the MIDI, you'll see that's all set up, and you can pick where you send it here in the channel, in the MIDI channel. So I'm going to pick to send it to the synth, and we will play it. Really cool for textures, even if it's like not super correct, like everything fighting is really interesting, I think. If you turn off the metronome here. So like we noticed that those low notes are just wrong. So what we could do is long press and just get rid of them. These just don't work. And we could do this, boop, boop, boop. And those low notes are just the ones that I think are clashing. And I think it's actually something to do with the oscillator being too low, so it can't go any lower, so it's just holding one note. I could be wrong though, but yeah, so those low notes are definitely the problem here, but that's not so bad. Like that's pretty good actually. I would use that, especially considering it's on a pad, so you can do some. It's a little more forgiving. So then what I would do here is I've got a really good clip that's is this 8 bars? Something like that? Yeah, roughly. I don't know. My eyes are deceiving me, but let's just what we can do though in this new feature with MIDI, you can put the playhead where you want to clip this and long press on it. And from there you can use the split button here at the top. And what the split button does is it converts it trims off the edge and lets you have a very precise sized clip. And then what you can do is there's a new feature in HomeCrate now where you can, at the very bottom here, these are all the parameters for the synthesizer, and you can scroll through them and figure out which one you want to automate. And there are now automation curves that you can assign. So let's do something like that's really noticeable. We'll do the cutoff. So we'll do cutoff for B, and yeah, we'll do cutoff for B. And if you long press on the parameter, it'll pop open this shape tool, and you can pick what kind of curve you want to do it with. So like if I wanted an S curve for it, or if I wanted something that's just like I want it to go back down to its original value, you can do that, and you can also pick a start offset and an end offset so that it goes some amount of time before it starts doing that. So I've got that set up right now. We can hit check on that, and we should hear the synth now be impacted by that over time. Let's try that again. I think I had those linked, so it ignored it, but we can hit play now. Okay. So now you can see the cutoff is actually being impacted by that shape. Spicy. Yeah. So that shows how you can split clips. And also for audio, you can do the same thing. So we're right now on the audio tab. If I wanted to split this in half, I can long press, and there's a split button here. And this is great if you want to do something like, oh, I want to trim a portion of it and get a copy of that, and then do something like reverse the audio clip. You can reverse the audio clip here, and or maybe you just only want a part of it to have MIDI. You can do that as well. And yeah, that's the audio to MIDI feature and also the clip editing. The next one we'll go over is taking clips from the timeline and putting them inside of the drum plugin. So HomeCrate drum plugin is a 16 pad sampler that you can, well, it used to be that you could only sample into it. Now I've added a feature in HomeCrate where you can copy a clip and paste it straight into the pad. So let's say that we're on an island and all we have is a guitar and this iPad. We need a drum kit, so we would add a drum kit, and we got drums. And let's pretend that there are no samples in this kit right now. So let's just get a kick. So I'll go ahead and just start a recording. All right. One of those could be a kick. Why not? So let's go ahead and pick one out. I like that last one. So I can put the cursor where I want it and hold the press on the clip and do the split feature. And I can long press on that other one, and we can just delete that because we've got the perfect one. And we can then take that and yeah, let's actually we probably even clip it a little bit more. I want to get it like right before the, oh yeah, you can zoom now. I just did that without even talking about it. Yeah, you can zoom and get really close on your waveform so you can be a little more precise, exactly like we're doing right now. So I'll go ahead and push the, I'll put the playhead here, and I want to trim just a little bit more out. So I'll take that, delete that, and then we'll long press on it, and this is where you can copy it. So we'll long press, and then I am going to do the copy right next to the scissors icon, and then we're going to go into the drum, and we're going to get into edit mode, and we will pop open the editor, the pop-up for like, this is the fine tuning for like your stretching and your character and all of that per pad. And there's a button now next to the close button where you can paste in that sample. So if I play it now, there it is. And we can edit that now. So if I pop this open, you can see that there's like that start is not quite perfect. So we can tap on start and then just use the wheel to jog it where you want it. And we can just hit check. And sure, that works. Like we could just put a beat. Whoops. Oh, right there. All right, whatever. That's good. Yeah. So then you can edit that a little bit and maybe throw in some volume and we can stretch it. We could do the cutoff a bit. And then you can edit the master volume by just tapping on it, and this knob here for the output controls that. So then everything relative to that you can bring down, and then you can put an amp on it, all kinds of stuff. But point is, you can record in very quickly just by copying clips in. So imagine that you're like out sampling, or you're just actually sampling a drum kit. You've got that to do with. And yeah, that's the new drum features. And yeah, let's move on to the next one. So you won't be able to run this on older iPads like I was just running on an iPad 2018. It will crash if you try to do that. But on more modern iPhones and iPads and MacBooks and iMacs and all of that, it will work. And so I've switched over to my iPhone 17 Pro. In the top right menu, now there is an open and import option. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select from, there's a tab now for stem separate. The first time that you run this, it's going to download a model. It's going to come from my servers. And this model is just going to be used to separate the stems. And it's used to determine if it's guitar and all those things. So you hit the download model for the first time, it'll be saved to your phone or whatever device when you run it for the first time. So it's already downloaded. I can pick a song now. So I'll pick a song and we will pick this one here that I know is royalty free. And you'll notice that it'll start separating the stems, and it will take a while. If you're on a 17 Pro, it'll take this long, and it can do up to I've done 12-minute splits. This is really great for learning how to make a song or how to play a song that you didn't write, or maybe you're just like getting ready for a gig in a band you're new to. This is like one way to take their songs and split them out so then you can play your parts. Or if you're remixing, that's another really good application of this. If you're just trying to get like some drums or something from an old record or whatever. So yeah, this is almost done. 96, 97, 98, 99. Success. All right, we got stems. So once it completes, those stems are going to be, you can preview them, you can share them individually, or you could just add to your tracks, and it will add it to your song. So I'll restart the song, and we'll hit play, and we'll listen to these layers as one, and then start pulling things away. I think I got some MIDI here. We want to kill all of that. Let's kill that, 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 and that. All right. I think that's all the tracks. So now we'll play. So we've got the top drums, we got bass, so we can kill the drums. Bring them back up. Maybe you're learning that piano part. You can do Your shadow leans across. So that's just the vocals and the drums isolated. And let's go ahead and try some of the new plugins. So we've got the vocal plugin and we've got the dynamic EQ. So we'll start with the let's do the vocal plugin. So I'll delete this synth. We don't need that anymore. And I'll add the vocal. And we know this is vocals, so we'll just play around with here. I'll set a loop point right here. I'm going to hit start and I'll hold press on the timeline to set a loop. And let's just make this like, I don't know, 8 measures. And if you hit this button here, it'll set the start and end, and you can turn the loop on. Stray halo glass on the table. Would hate me. Right Your now, shadow leans across my knees. So we'll do pitch correction. We can do some echo. And the echo has the momentary switch, so you can do press and do that. The space is to do doubling and reverb and EQ. So if you want to like pump up some of the mids. And if you want to not correct, you can just tap the correct button and that will bypass it. And the voice sounds great as is, so we should. But if we do want to turn it on and be robotic, we can do that, and we can go and you can do some pitch down stuff, and that gets really interesting. And it's stretched, so you can pick the speed and everything. And then we can bring in the instruments again, so do that. You can double tap on the ones that make it sound weird and it'll return them to their value. DS, add some compression and drive. Give a lot of drive and get that kind of like cheap microphone sound. And you can turn on the gate so then you can really compress it. You can also do IR, impulse response, to be processed through it, so you can do some really cool shaping of vocals through this. Yeah, so we'll turn that off. And yeah, so we've got the piano and all that. You can so let's say that we want to make the drums impact the vocals and kind of like pulse them. So we know that it looks like that. Yeah, this part here, the drums seem to happen at the same time. So we'll just go ahead and do that same 8-bar here. It's going to be in loop mode. And what we've got here in the vocals is we've got this EQ. So if I open the editor for the EQ, this will, at the top here, you'll see the signal coming in. We need to assign something to send signal. So we'll go over here to the send, and you just add this plugin, just like the other plugins. You hit the plus and hit HC send. And you can gain it a bit. This won't impact the sound that's coming through it. It'll just add some more to what it sends through to the other plugins. So if I push play, you should see that it's sending on track 1, right? Oh, I gotta delete the drum because it's trying to listen to the drum. There we go. Let's see what that does now. There it is. So you can see it's now sending that signal, and we can go over here to the dynamic EQ for the vocals, turn it up. Now the drums should be impacting it. You can see here at the top it is. And now I can say, let's duck the whole thing. So these bottom knobs will impact EQ. And it's coming in, it's still a little bit weak even. So I can go back on the attack and maybe give it some more release. There we go. So at least when it does hit those peaks, it'll hold it a little longer. And this gives you some really cool dynamics. So then you can do side chaining, do something like the makeup. So now you can hear the voice is now pulsing with the drum. I like that. It's cool. So yeah, you can get really creative with that, and yeah, those are the 3 new plugins.